another one for y'all to peep. It's called MIKE on the MIC.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of On the Mic with Mike. I'm your host, Mike Larkin, and joining me today is adult model, Miss Brattyklynn. It is a pleasure to meet you, Kaylin. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I cannot complain. First and foremost, I appreciate your time. I've seen a lot of your work when it comes to Pornhub and just everything from the social media sides of things that really incorporate a lot of the adult work. You do a lot of great content.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Now, I have to ask you first and foremost, because when it comes to modeling, the adult entertainment industry, it comes in so many forms and many different facets. So for you, what wanted you to get involved in the line of the adult work? How did everything come into fruition for you?
Well, I started about a year ago. It was just, with COVID and everything, just wanting to make extra money. And then I started an OnlyFans, and I had an Instagram that I just turned into it, but mostly just OnlyFans and just getting my name out there. I have an OnlyFans, I use Reddit, I use quite a bit of things to get my name out there. So it's definitely a lot of hard work. Girls like me see it and they're like, oh, I can take pictures in my bra and underwear and make a lot of money. No, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
I think what's interesting about it too is I'm glad that you brought that up. It's one of those things that a lot of people don't even realize, like the lighting and everything that goes into the content creation. And what's cool about it too is as well, I mean, you see like adult films and you see stuff that we used to see on like HBO and Cinemax late night. And it's like a lot of people see that and it's just like, oh, you know what I'm saying? But it's like the work that goes into it. And also the fact that this is stuff like where we had in the internet, where we had like sites like, I remember when I was like 13, we had like girlshuntinggirls.com. This is before like the X videos and X hamsters and Pornhubs that we have now. It's like you'd have to subscribe to one site, which a lot of people still do, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But we've had that evolution of technology. It's like we have everything at our fingertips just to see adult work and just in general.
Yeah, it takes a lot. With the films, everyone's like, oh, that's exciting and this and that, but it takes a lot of work. These girls are working really hard. I mean, even the men too, because I do it with my husband, and it's a lot on him. And I mean, we do it together, because it works for our marriage and it spices things up, but it takes a lot of work. And sometimes the spicing it up is a lot harder than just with all the work that comes into it.
And it's funny, like you mentioned that, because I had a guest not too long ago. Her name is Laura Cross. She like wrestles, but she also has like a Pornhub page where her and her husband shoot content. So I'm curious with yourself, because I've seen a lot of the work that you've done with your husband. Great content, of course, and we'll talk about the role play here. But for you and your husband, again, spicing things up in the bedroom, spicing things up in general, that's got to be fun just to like showcase that stuff to the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like it's cool and it's great for a lot of people to like fulfill that fantasy. But I'm curious, like you and your husband just like boom, just said, hey, let's show our stuff on camera. Like, how did you and your husband say, hey, let's show this stuff and let's put out that content together?
So, like I said, with OnlyFans, it started with just me.
Okay. And,
people, I'm not against showing him off, but some other stars, they collab with other people, and that's not something that I've ever wanted to do. So I'm like, well, I've maxed out my toy base. I've maxed out how many toys I'm going to get. So I just started doing, because I use Snapchat too. And I've started, it was incorporating him into it as the male person. And then he likes to do everything really good and above and beyond. So he's like, let's make some videos. So that's where that came in. And we have professional lights because I was doing a boutique and stuff. That's what I used to do. So we have like the professional lights. We have everything that we need. And so we was using his GoPro and so that's where that came from.
I think what's cool about that too is, now I'm going to say this right now. I understand like you don't want to show them off, and you don't want to do like that swinger type stuff. But what's also
Yeah.
great about it too is as well, and I can respect that. Like a lot of people, when it comes to certain material and content, a lot of people like to see people in relationships, having sexual intercourse. They like spice it up for their own bedroom. So you're kind of
Yeah.
like inspiring like the generation and next generation and just people in present day. And it's like, hey, if you want to showcase your man and do this, 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 you're giving a lot of freeway for a lot of people in relationships to spice things up. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it's very healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And it's been a big thing that I've noticed, I guess, that a lot of people, which I don't judge people. They can do whatever they want with whoever they want, and I don't judge them. That's just not something that I want to do. I've noticed with the younger generations, well, even with the older, I guess, getting into the industry, that swinging and I guess the women being with other men is something that their husbands like. It's just not something that really works for us. So we've just wanted to, for the couples out there, they're like, oh, we want to do something else. We really wanted to inspire them to, it's okay to role play with your husband with other things. You don't have to bring other people into the equation.
Right. And I can respect that too. And what I also like about it as well is, first of all, Breaking Benjamin, to make a pop culture reference, had one of their great songs being polyamorous. I mean, you see that a lot in relationships.
Yeah.
And I mean, you look in movies like when Robin Williams was in The World According to Garp, they had a little swinger type action in the movie. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's not uncommon, but not everybody wants to do it. And this is where I love about it too. And we're going to talk about you yourself, because my imagery, Madonna me, you look very good. And we'll talk about that in a second here, Caitlin.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. But god dang, what I love about it too is as well, everybody in life, and I think you can equate this to me because I don't judge either. I'm one of those person who's very open-minded. People do what they do. As long as you're happy, that's the main thing. But also at the same time, how awesome is that for us with our uniquenesses and our preferences and what we like? Because everybody's unique. Everybody gets to explore different options, expands one horizons, and it makes for great content. It makes for people, to really find themselves, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think that goes a long way. And what I love about it too is as well, for those who have not seen my friend Miss Kaylin here doing her thing on social media, a lot of beautiful imagery, a lot of voluptuosity factor, and really encompasses in your images. I got to put you over for that because it's very sensual.
Thank you. Yeah, it's taken a lot of work. It's so funny because I know that my work's been, and it's not even really, I mean, it's great, but it started just pictures, and I feel like my lighting and I've come a long way within the year.
I agree. And I think what I like about you too is as well, and I think this goes with all women and what they possess, is that you got the confidence factor about you, man. And I got to say, if you got it, flaunt it, as a lot of people discuss. But it's one of those things, man, like I've seen a lot of your work. There's one that incorporates a banana, which is one of the popular ones I've seen of yours. There's stuff where you're rubbing oil on yourself. Stuff like that is very sensual. We've seen it in movies. We equate it to popular culture. Like for you, like incorporating a banana. Now, first and foremost, we all know what a banana is shaped like, and you all know what I'm talking about here. So, I mean, for you, incorporating banana, and that's a thing. A lot of people like to use food to provide the sensual factor into it as well. So the banana, for you, like, how is it just like I'm filming myself and I'm playing with a banana? So I had to ask about the banana type of thing. Is that something that somebody wanted? Do you want to incorporate here? How did the banana video come into fruition there?
Well, honestly, I was just at home making content and I seen the banana and I'm like, oh, that looks fun. Which is quite funny. And I just put my phone on a tripod because that's all I use for just my little stuff is my iPhone. And I just put it on the tripod and I was like, oh, this is fun. So, I mean, you can use anything really in it, because I don't know how many views that video has, but quite a lot of people have liked it.
It's one of the most viewed on there. And I think what's great about it too is because if you go to your page, you see a lot of highlighted videos, and the banana one is up there. But no,
Yeah.
I love it. And here's what's cool about it too is as well, people, again, it's what people like. They have this certain urges, so to speak, and that's what really entices one people and their viewers. And I mean, for you, I'm going to say right now, the oil is also very simple, because whether it be like oil wrestling, there's something about that oil factor where you rub it all your body. It's very sensual and it makes for an intimate setting. And I'm going to say right now, and we touched upon this here, Miss Caitlin, but you got that voluptuosity factor on you, so you're very appealing and it's very sensual, so it makes for great content, and it really, gets to absorb one's being there. So you're doing your thing on that front too.
Yeah, because I think that's what most people think is, oh, because I am a bigger girl. Oh, I'm a bigger girl. People aren't going to like that, but they do. It's just watching someone in the raw just rubbing themselves down. There's a factor in there that turns a lot of people on. And I mean, if there are any women that want to get into it and they're like, oh, I don't really like my body, there's a lot of people out there that are going to like them no matter what they look like or their body type, because there's someone, or I would say someone out there for everyone, but there's a lot of people watching that, that have the different preferences and stuff. So I would say go for it.
And I look at a woman like yourself, first and foremost, nothing wrong with that. As a lot of people say, down with the thickness, and you certainly have. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, personally, myself, and I can say this, I'm 30 years old now. So, I mean, back in my teenage years, I'm going to say a lot of women that were, interested in myself, and it's just conversating and really generating conversation. A lot of bigger girls, and a lot of people would, and unfortunately, we live in a day and age where we still shame people for their bodies or what have you, shame in general, which is ridiculous and it's very ignorant. But for me, but for me, like growing up with a mom, like I said, my mom's my biggest hero, and this is where my love, respect, and admiration comes in. It doesn't really matter the size, and also at the end of the day, if you have it internally and externally, that's something that's very attractive and appealing and desirable for a lot of men.
Yeah, I agree with that. It doesn't matter what you look like, just get out there and do it.
Right. And I
I
think,
think,
yeah,
I'm sorry, I think whatever brings confidence to women too, because I mean, when I put my stuff out there and people like it, and I'm like, oh, that makes me feel good. I'm doing something right. So.
No, I think you are. And I think you look at the world of modeling, right? Like plus size modeling has really took over all different forms of modeling. Like you look at a woman like Ashley Graham, who was all over different cover magazines. And I mean, it's one of those things, like it shouldn't matter the body type, but also at the same, like at the end of the day, we were talking about there's something for everyone. But also it's cool to show that body positivity. And I think with yourself, now you can also equate it to this. You have that body positivity, man. Like, here's my body, boom, here I am. And yet I'm going to say right now, what also is very encompassing and engaging about you, Miss Caitlin, you got that smile, man, the smile that makes us all go wild. You got that little smile that helps too. It's evoking that emotions, man.
Yeah, I've always gotten a lot of compliments on my smile. And whenever it come to COVID and you had to have the mask on, people were like, oh, you have nice eyes. I'm like, wow, I've never gotten that before. So, which is funny, but.
And I think what's great about it too is like, and a lot of people have done stuff during COVID, because first and foremost, we're sitting around, there's nothing much to do. We can't go anywhere. And I think what's great about it too is we can sit here and we can just be like, what have you, or we could get creative and be positively proactive. So, and I mean, during the time we get to get our minds going and get everything spinning. So, I mean, it's been great for a lot of people that want to shoot adult content. A lot of them get to, really experience it. So I think COVID has been a blessing in the disguise for a lot of people.
Yeah, it keeps people at home, and instead of with me, instead of getting depressed and being like, oh, I don't have anything to do because I was working and coming home, I would just take pictures of myself and send them to my husband, and I'm like, oh, and then we talked about it, and I was like, well, maybe we can make an extra income off this. And I'm hoping, because we're moving, I'm hoping that I can get a part-time job when I move and just pursue modeling full-time. That would be amazing.
I got to say, with the path that you're going on right now, my friend, I think you're going to be just fine. And first of all, I got to say, best wishes and safe travels on the move. I think that's awesome. And I think a lot of people, you're welcome. And I think a lot of people you're welcome. And a lot of people that come with moving, what happens, a lot of people have moved, and, the moving that goes into it, it's very hard. It can be very scary. But I mean, now where are you moving to exactly? What's the location you're thinking?
We're moving to Florida for sure.
Oh,
because we're in Washington now, which is funny because I'm originally from Texas, and we moved to Washington 2 years ago in our RV, which is what we're in now, as you can see. But it was just cold. It's cold here, and it snows so much. And I have a daughter, and the school just wasn't that good here for her. So we're moving somewhere that it'll be warm and we can get out and do things.
First and foremost, God bless on the child factor. A child is an extension of the parent, and I think that's wonderful. God bless. And I think what's great about it too is as well, like you're talking about going to Florida. For me, I'm from Long Island, New York, so I can attest to this, folks. It's cold. There's snow. We don't want to be around the snow. Currently, I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, which is very much a tourist city. Warm. There's no snow. I'm happy. If there's no snow, we're happy, right?
Yeah. That was just something that I've experienced that I never have. And I thought a few times of going out and making content out in the snow, but I'm like, I appreciate my fans, but I am not getting stuck out in this snow.
Well, you see, you just brought up like content ideas. All you need to do now is be snow angels in the snow nude. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people probably like that, right?
Maybe I can do that on vacation.
Yeah. Hey, but no, I think that's awesome. And first and foremost, what part of Florida, man? There's Tampa, O-Town, Orlando. What are you thinking?
The Fort Walton Beach area.
Nice. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. And I mean, when you look at Florida too, it's a hotbed for a lot of things. It's a retirement community. So I think the location and the representation of your presentation, if I were to put it like that, I think it brings a lot of stuff for people to see you do your thing. And we're going to talk about your husband here because god dang, man, Sven Oak, for those who've not seen his channel, you two have a lot of great content together. There's one that involves the truck. There's one where you're the neighbor's wife. There's the handyman stuff. Like there's a lot of great role play there, man. And I have seen the videos, very sensual. You guys do it up. I got to give you props.
Yeah, he that night we went to the casino and we were flirting around the casino. And that was a lot of fun. And then it just ended up in the truck.
It gives you a lot of great stuff too. And I mean, who doesn't? I'm going to say right now, to quote T-Pain, they're hitting his infamous song "Backseat Action." Sometimes you got to pull over, give you the business. Can I get a witness? Holla at me. Sometimes it's stuff like that resonates people, whether it's in the back of a car, stuff like who doesn't want to do that? And I mean, from the role play side of things, whether it be the neighbor's wife or being the handyman type of deal that you guys did there, it works. And I got to say, what you were wearing as well, the style and the finesse with like a red dress and stuff like you had on, it pops. It's very vibrant. And the style and the finesse of what you're wearing also helps. So, I mean, it provided a lot of great content, even the most integral and small detail. It worked.
Yeah, I've had a lot of positive things about that red dress that I wore there.
It's really it's elegant at the same time, but sexy, if I can put it like the most respectful way there. It's elegant and sexy.
Yeah, I think because it's really low cut with the shoulders, people are like, oh, I want to see more of that.
And I got to say, for yourself, and I can tell from you just by speaking with you, you're very vibrant, you're a very lovely person. But for you, really getting to explore that sensual side, is that something like, I know you're bored, but is that something kind of like during COVID and then boom, here we are? But god dang, man, it's like that. Is that something that you always kind of also want to explore as well? Because they say there's two sides to people. There's themselves, but god dang, man, when you get onto that nightlife and you get to explore yourself sexually and stuff, has that always been something that you wanted to kind of like leash out or just really explore?
It has. I did a photo shoot for my husband, 4 years ago. I went to a hotel. I took some lingerie with a photographer, and I was like, oh, I really like this. So I guess ever since then, it's been something that I've wanted to do because it made me feel good about myself, and it was just a lot of fun getting dressed up and changing because I think I had like 3 or 4 different suits that I changed into. It was a lot of fun.
I think what's great about it too is as well when it comes to photo shoots. And again, we talk about the elegance of a dress. You can put on a dress, you can put on lingerie, whatever you're doing, and in that moment, and you're loving it and you're happy. And it does make you feel good. And we see that just in general with your work and a lot of women in general. I think if you have that art form, because if you look at the end of the day, I always talk about women being a work of art. You look at that external beauty, look at the internal beauty, you look at the old package in itself. One can really tell a lot by one image and really showcase the work that goes into that image and everything behind that image, because everything in life is a story, and we're all at the end of the day applying our crafts, and you apply your craft in amazing fashion, Ms. Caitlin.
Well, thank you. I really try, and I don't so much copy other creators, but I do look around to see, and I do my homework on what would look good. And most of the time it's spur of the moment. Oh, I've fixed my hair a certain way. Let me take a few pictures. So it's, some of it's planned out, but a lot of it is just spur of the moment that I like to do because that's when it's the most fun.
Right. And I think with today's day and age, like we talk about how OnlyFans has done a lot for a lot of amazing women and many vids and a lot of sites like that. And I think what's great about it too is as well, a lot of people have that perception of OnlyFans as being like, oh, no, we're just going to put out content. We're going to get naked. Boom. It's like, no, there's actually a great community with OnlyFans, like to interact with fans and stuff. Like there's a lot that's really encompassed besides the fact of the sensual vibes and the nudity wise. But at the end of the day, there's a lot that really goes with OnlyFans.
Yeah, I know a lot of women, and I post everyday stuff on there too. It's, we post stuff working out or we're cooking or doing just anything that we do. It's not necessarily so much, oh, we're naked or we're doing different things like that. It's just everyday stuff. It's just, people just building your following and, people that you connect with and interacting back and forth and just doing everyday things. I mean, OnlyFans isn't terrible because I post stuff when I'm cooking or I'm outside, or I post a lot of different stuff.
I will say this, I'm glad that you mentioned working out because folks, if you're not following Miss Brattyklynn here over on the social media front, beast mode, man. You were in beast mode doing your thing with working out, showcasing your fitness side of things. I got to give you props once more, man, because you're really putting in that work.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy with my body. I just, like I said, I have a daughter and I just want to be around a lot longer versus just working out. So I'm just trying to get healthy so I can be around a lot longer for her.
Right. And first of all, that's a great mindset to have. And I love that. That really touches my heart. But also at the same time, too, it makes one feel good. And also from the fitness side of things, a lot of us getting in shape makes us feel good working out. You know what I'm saying? And what I love about it, too, is as well, that also goes back to being positively proactive because it also gave us not just from content side of things, but if you have a home gym, you know what I'm saying, during COVID, creativity of working at home. And then once the gym's back open, boom, we're like a jackrabbit. Right to the gym we go. So, I mean, it also gives us a chance to provide the fitness side of things, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been, I guess I've been going because our gym here is we live in a super small area. So our gym was closed and then it was open. And then they opened it. I guess I've been going for about 6 months, I would say. Because
Nice.
I have, and it really helps with the stress levels and anxiety. If anyone has anxiety or depression, it really helps get your mind off of things and get your brain going.
And amazing and beautifully said. And I think what a lot of people can attest to this instead of, or anyone that goes through it, because a lot of people have struggled, I myself. I think what you have to do is find something that you love, put all that you have into it and forget what I'm going to say right now, to put it bluntly, fuck what everybody else says and just do what makes you happy. And I think what a lot of people have done, and this is why I love what I do, the adult stars, the adult content creators, a lot of people poo-poo on it, but like at the end of the day, you're happy. A lot of people are happy doing their thing. Just go out there and just showcase your stuff like Melanie, Miss Kaylin over here can do, and many other great people. So I got to say, you're adding a lot of inspiration, a lot of, dare I say, empowerment to the community, my friend.
Yay. I mean, if that's all that I'm doing, that would make me happy. I mean, because, everyone needs to get out there and do what makes them happy and makes them feel good about themselves instead of sitting around watching other people. That's what really inspired us to get in our RV. Was we had a 3-bedroom house in Texas, 2 brand new cars, a house full of crap, which it was all really nice, brand new stuff. But me and my husband were working so much. We never saw each other. Other people were daycares and my father was, raising our daughter basically just so we could work to pay for all the crap we had. So we moved into the RV and now we're doing more adventuring stuff. We're getting out there and doing more things. And I think that's what's important. Getting out there doing the things versus paying for all these expensive things. As they say, keeping up with the Jonases? Who wants to do that?
No, you're right. And I mean, sometimes we need
Yeah.
something that's like really quaint. It doesn't. Here's the thing. First of all, as you just said, 3 bedrooms, 2 cars. I'm just like, geez Louise, man. Because first and foremost, that's awesome. That's the life right there.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, with your happiness, if you're not happy in that environment and you want something, whether it be quaint or you want an RV, you want an apartment,
Yeah.
you have to do something that makes you happy. And I'm going to say right now, as someone who has lived similar to that, it becomes a lot because it's a lot of stuff to clean. You have a lot of crap piled into your house. And it's just like, man, at the end of the day, and again, excuse my language, but it's like, fuck this. I want to do something that's smaller and really more quaint for my stuff.
Yeah. So that's where we're going now. And then, getting out there and exploring the different things, and me and my husband exploring each other. It's been a lot of fun, and we're definitely a lot happier than what we were. So that's a lot. That's awesome.
I got to say, a lot of people bring a lot of joy, whether it be the most minuscule verbiage or what have you, whatever action. And I always look at it like this, we all get to inspire through our words and our actions. And I think what everybody is doing, no matter what the facet of life, whatever art form, you're doing a lot of good meaning to people. And I look at it from a stance too as well. First of all, your social media. Social media is a positive and negative tool, and you use it for a lot of positivity and to bring a lot of love and a lot of people vibes to subscribe with your content. So I got to say, you're doing something right, but also at the same time, it's like, God dang, man. And here's where I get to the social media part. Instagram is a pain in the ass when it comes to certain photos and stuff. Twitter, not so,
Yes.
but god dang, man, the community guidelines is like really rough to get around, right?
Yeah, it's really hard. Instagram, it's a pain in the butt. I just really posted my story. I don't even really post anything at much anymore. Just run it across the story for 24 hours. But I mean, Twitter is pretty good. It's a lot harder to figure out. If anyone has any tips, I would love to know. But that, and yeah, social media is hard.
And I think since the days of, I'll be honest with you now, mind you, back in the day, we had like before like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, all this came to fruition. We had MySpace. Like I was not a MySpace guy, but we all had MySpace. And I mean, it's one of those things too, as well. Social media has grown. Other than there's positives and negatives to everything. There could be a detriment, there could be a positive. But I think whatever you use it for, as long as it's very positive when it comes to social media, I think that's the way to go because there's too much negativity, like people arguing over this, politics, what have you. It's like, can we have a nice little medium and just like, be a little bit more positive, a little bit more open-minded and just stop when it should be more like this, right?
Yeah. I feel that people, they like to, I guess, say whatever they want to say and that they wouldn't really say in real life because they're not face to face with people. And that's one thing that I don't like about social media. I see some things, and I'm a really polite person. Like if I don't have anything nice to say most of the time, I won't say anything at all. That's what my husband says. We went to a neighbor's house, and I'm very jokey and I'm very funny, and I work in healthcare right now. So I have a dark sense of humor. And he said, he was telling me, hey, watch what you say. And I'm like, oh, if I don't have anything to say around new people, I just won't say anything at all. And I think that, social media, that's where it's so terrible. The downfall is because people, they just say whatever they want. And it's crazy.
I mean, that you put it so eloquently there. And I think a lot of people, you know what it is? It's no filter. It's like nothing goes on from here and just everything in the mind. It's like verbal diarrhea. It's what it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, too, you have to find a way to navigate around that. And here's what's also very much a plus. And I'm going to say right now, a lot of people could go insane if you're constantly on social media. So if you pace yourself, and sometimes you need to take a break where, mind you, we're always kind of like this, but sometimes you need to put the phone away and just enjoy life for actually what it is,
Yeah, that's definitely important. I will say, backtracking back to the negative, that when anyone posts anything negative, you guys have to remember that it's popping it up in the feed regardless, so it's all that negative hate that they're putting on there. It's popping people up. So
True.
when we're getting it, we're like, oh, maybe it's not so bad because they're really helping us out.
Well, as the old saying goes, any publicity is good publicity, right?
Yeah. Which I think is funny. People post on the stuff and it's like, oh, well, a comment's a comment. It's helping. So
That's how you have to also look at it with YouTube. Like, it doesn't matter if you get a dislike on a video, that means someone was engaging with your content, you know?
Yeah. I think that's funny. Most people don't understand that. They're like, I'm just going to say what I want to say.
Yeah, and I mean, also what's great about it too is there's this little option called the block button, which also does help for a lot of people if you know what I'm saying. But still, as long as you have that engagement, I don't think it really matters. And I mean, with social media, that's the good and the bad, so to speak. But also at the same time with you. Now, for those who have not seen once more Kaylin's links here when it comes to Twitter and Instagram, two of the hotbeds for a lot of your work, as well as Pornhub. And I think what's great about it too is as well a lot of great content, a lot of great solo stuff. And I think what you get to produce is something not just only that makes you happy, but it's something that really, really, I'm going to say right now, it's like chicken soup for the soul. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the soul, and it makes your soul feel good. You know what I'm saying? It's the spirit, if you will, that goes into it to make a little, spirituality thing there. It's the spirit, man. You got the spirit with it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. I know my confidence has went through the roof because I feel a lot better about myself, just showing off and, hey, look at me. If you like it, that's awesome. If you don't, that's cool too. Just I'm over here doing my own thing.
It's great that you brought that up too as well, because I just turned 30. It's like when I was 12 years ago, and I was like 18, and you're just graduating high school, right? You're still young, you're still trying to find out what you want to do and explore a lot of things. But I think once you get to like your 30s, it's like, fuck it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't care what people think anymore. You're getting older, and things start to evolve, and you start to see yourself for who you really are. And I think that's wonderful. It's like a self-reflection, so to speak.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened to me because I just turned 31 in February. So
Well, first of all, late happy birthday and congratulations.
thank you.
You're very welcome. But no, I mean, there's a lot of people talk about the quote unquote dirty 30 as we get to our 30s. It's just like, hey, it's also kind of like a sexual peak, if you will, like our peakness, our prime, so to speak. So I mean, it's one of those things where the exploration of our journey, so to speak, really goes into fruition and really shows, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like, oh, we're 30. Fuck it. We don't care anymore.
Somebody put that on a t-shirt. We're 30 and we don't care anymore. Fuck it. I like that. It's a marketing stream. I like it.
I can relate. That's so funny.
Absolutely. But no, and I think again, our confidence grows with how we are. And like I said, like when I was like 18 or 19, didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just working a part-time job. And I mean, still I do some part-time stuff, but I also, I stay busy, but also at the same time, man, like you stay busy and you showcase your assets and what you are and how you work and, knowing your worth, so to speak. I think that's very important. I could tell with how you are with your confidence and working in healthcare and really exploring and expanding your horizons, your worth. And I think that's going to really add up to a lot of great things going for you in the future.
Yay. Well, thank you. I know the past few months they've really gone up for me. I've got a lot of great opportunities with like talking to you. So that's awesome.
And I mean, I'm happy to have you. And I love giving people the platform to tell their stories. And we were talking about the fact that you got the voluptuosity factor. And I'm going to say right now, there's a lot of bootyfulness, if you will. And I say that with the utmost respect. No, you're welcome. And that's the thing too. And I think as a male, the booty goes a lot to it, man. And like I said, it's bootyful. I'm going to put it like that bluntly, because it's true. You got it, man.
Well, thank you.
You're very well.
That's another reason I've been going to the gym. I gotta get it going.
Hey man, I look at it from a stance too as well. I'm a music video type of kid. Like I love everything, all different genres of music. And I used to love back in the day coming home from school, putting on TRL and watching the brand new videos that they're making the videos. Like there's a lot of great women. Like back in the day, remember the spring breaks with MTV and the Cancun, all those women? Yep, right.
Yeah, which was so funny when I was growing up. I'm like, oh, I gotta get there. And now that I'm older, I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna go there.
Beautiful. No, I can attest to that, because the visual that we have, we're watching Eminem, we're watching NSYNC and all these people, it's MTV spring break. We're all in Cancun. Everybody's having fun. There's beach balls flying everywhere. And you're like, I want to be a part of this. But as we get older, it's like, yeah, I really don't want to be a part of that anymore.
Yeah, like, oh, what was I thinking? I'm not that young anymore. That doesn't, I mean, it looks fun. I'm sure it's beautiful there, but I'm like, ooh, that's too much for me.
It's the simple things, Miss.
Yeah.
It's the simple things.
Yeah. I think I left the fun and partying in my 20s, which I never really did much of that anyways. But that stuff just doesn't seem exciting anymore.
Hey, I hear you. I was never the partier myself. I was more kind of like I had my people, but I'm also kind of like, yeah, I'm not gonna drink. I'm just gonna, focus. And I was kind of a quiet kid as well, kind of a shy kid. So I get it. You know what I'm saying? In your 20s, you don't really party as much like a lot of your friends do. You do what makes you happy. So I mean, hey, and it shows, man. I think your hard work is paying off. So I mean, you stay focused and you stay on the grind, if you will.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah.
You're very welcome. Truth is truth. And I think what a lot of people can take away from today's show is we have a lot of empowering figures and enlightening figures. And I'm going to say this right now, because before we do close this out, Brattyklynn, you're one of the good ones, and you're one of the most voluptuous ones and beautiful ones out there in the game today. The overture is here. I got to get you back on for round two. Anytime you want to come back on, you are more than welcome.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you. And I want to say, because I love empowering people, but if there's any ladies out there that, they're on the fence, get out there and, show off, like they say, what your mama gave you. And who cares what other people think? That's something exciting for me. Just get out there and do it.
The smile on my face, folks. This one with the shake what your mama gave you. I like that. I like that. A lot of people don't say that. You're welcome. No, but a lot of people don't say that too often anymore because it's very true. It's very honest. It's blunt. It's true.
Yeah. Get out there and do what makes you happy. Stop sitting around and worrying what other people are going to think, because they're going to think it whether you're doing it or you're not doing it.
You are the bomb, my friend. And before we close this out, Twitter, Instagram, OnlyFans, Pornhub, let everybody know where we can find you on all forms of social media. The floor is yours.
Hey, thank you. So on Pornhub, I'm Brattyklynn. On Instagram at Brattyklynn. Unfortunately, I was banned on Twitter once. So my other Twitter is at Southern Kaylin. And on Snapchat is at Brattyklynn as well. I do live verification on there, though, to be sure you're adults. So be an adult or don't add me.
I'm going to say right now, and I don't mean to laugh, but you're probably the first one when it comes to that. Be an adult or don't add me. That is the first on the show that somebody has said that when it comes to social media. I like that. I got to coin that now. Be an adult. I love that.
I'm very by the rules, so I know some people, I don't play with that. So be an adult or don't add me.
Oh my God. No, I can appreciate that. No, I like that. I think that's very upfront and honest, and a lot of people like to be like that. I like your style. But no, please follow Brattyklynn on all different forms of social media. The links will be in the description before this show. And I mean, you're welcome. But no, god dang, man. I will say this. First of all, I love the name Brattyklynn. I had to put that over as well. And also with your Twitter being the Southern in it, I'm going to say what also gets it too is you got that accent. And I'm going to say right now, you're a Southern belle in your own right. So them Southern bells, right?
Yeah. I've always had this accent. Like it. Most people, they're like, what are you saying?
But I have to put that over too, because I'm going to say as a lot of men such as myself, it's that accent, it's that elegance. And I got to say it's that style. Like we talk about Southern belles. It's very appealing, man. You got that desirable factor about you.
Well, thank you.
You're very welcome. And before we do close this out, as I always do with this show, do you have any final words for the people, man? Because you're still doing your thing. You're still moving onward and upward. Do you have any final words for your fans, Miss Kaylin?
Well, we're going to drop the links below. Just come follow me for some sexy fun. Because, I mean, I'm going to be moving. I'm moving on Friday. So we're going to be in several different states. And there's going to be a lot of sexy fun in those states. So you don't want to miss it.
A lot of sexy time and a lot of sexy fun and a lot of sexiness incorporated by Brattyklynn. And as I always say to end this show, beauty, strength, and dominance, the three key elements that make women the work of art that they are. And Miss Kaylin, I include you in those sentiments. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Here's another one for y'all to peep. It's called MIKE on the MIC.